Yes, welcome everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, guten Tag, wherever you're at. Good to see you guys. Arnon in the house for another Words of Wisdom, except today is not Wednesday. So as some of you might know, I travel for business and I literally was traveling all day yesterday. So good to be here. Looking forward to share with you guys some insights. Let me just say hello to a few people. So we've got Instagram in the house. We've got Facebook in the house. So good to see all of you. As some of you know, next week is a very exciting week because next week I will be in South Africa on my safari leadership experience. So I'm definitely looking forward to next week. But we are in the here and now, and as always, I'm coming to you live. I want to give you some insights, some golden nuggets, and I have chosen a great book for the topic of the day. So, what is our topic of the day? The topic of the day is how you can, or how to squeeze the max out of the last few weeks of 2021. How you can, or how to squeeze the maximum out of the last few weeks of 2021. So, like I said, we've got Instagram in the house, we've got Facebook in the house. We're giving people a moment to join. By the way, if you guys can hear me, if I'm coming through, if you can hear me loud and clear, just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up so I know that you can hear me and that you are connected. Okay, so let's just give me a thumb. Just give me some thumbs up so I can see that, yeah, I'm coming through clearly. Good. Okay, yeah. And give people a moment to join. Very excited about the book that I've chosen for you guys today. Some of you probably have heard of the author, but maybe not the book. So, yeah, I'll be sharing that with you in a moment. So, let's dive right in, okay? So, what are three things that you can do to squeeze the last few weeks of 2021 to make sure that they are, that you end this year on a high, right? So I'm going to give you the first thing that I recommend you do. Now, these are things that I do, right? So I'm going to give you what works for me. What you like, use. What you like, grab onto. What you don't like, don't use. Okay? So the first thing that I do is, one of the things that I do at the end of every year, and this is actually closer to the end of December, right? Is I do at the end of every year, and you could do it sooner, depending on where you're at or what your mindset is. But one of the things that I do in the last few weeks of the year is I actually calculate my net worth. So I look at all my assets, I look at all my liabilities. You know, I look at all my cryptocurrencies. I look at all my, my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, I look at all my crypto accounts. I look at my cash. I look at all my assets. And obviously, I look at all my liabilities. Because one thing I like to do in the last few weeks of the year is I like to know where I stand. Because numbers, as one of my teachers said, Jim Rohn said, what do numbers tell us? Numbers tell us everything. They tell us everything. And so one of the key things that I want to do is I want to understand, have I made progress this year? Have I moved forward? Have I, numbers can tell us that, right? And so one thing that I do that works tremendously for me is I like to calculate my net worth. I want to see, have I moved forward? Have I gone backwards? Because that's also a very strong indicator for me to understand, what do I need to change? What do I need to adjust? What do I need to do more of? Or what do I need to do less of? Or what do I need to stop doing altogether? Okay, so just one thing that works for me. I do this every year, and actually, one of my business partners, who's also a world famous coach and trainer and speaker, he introduced me to this idea a few years ago, and I've just latched onto it, and I love it. Okay, so that's one thing that I do. The second thing, if you want to squeeze the most out of this year, is definitely start. By the way, if you haven't done this yet, start as soon as possible to visualize what you want next year to bring you, what you want next year to look like. Walt Disney said, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. So if you want to make, the last few weeks of this year very powerful and end on a high, I want you to start visualizing, right? Because a lot of people enter the new year and say, okay, let's make plans. But guess what? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So one of the key things I want to say is that start visualizing what you want next year to look like, but also plan. So A is to visualize, and B, put in place a plan. What do you want it to look like from a visualization perspective? Where do you want to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, from a relationship perspective, from a health perspective, from a traveling the world perspective, from a business, where do you visualize that? And take a moment to visualize each of those aspects in your life. Now, for my friends who would like to go a little bit deeper, the most powerful moments to visualize is either just before you go to sleep or just when you're waking up. So where you're still a little bit, you're still just waking up a little bit. And so your brain, the frequency levels of your brain are still very much calm. But at those moments, your subconscious is open the most. So it can absorb like a sponge. So those are the moments where visualization is the most powerful, okay? So that's A, we want to visualize, right? And the second thing we want to do, attached to that part, is we want to put in a plan. We absolutely want to put in a plan, okay? And that is very important because like I said, if you don't have a plan, if you don't, the difference between a dream and a goal, is that a dream doesn't have a plan in place, and it doesn't have a timeline in place. And so what I want you to do, number one, what I do is I calculate my net worth in the last few weeks of the year. Yeah. With all fairness, it's normally at the end of the year, but it gives me an indication of what I did, where I was, because we can get very disillusioned by getting busy, right? So the first thing I do is I like to calculate my net worth. The second thing I like to do, and I'm recommending all of you do this, is to start to visualize how you want to create the future, the next few weeks, the next few months, even the next few years. Visualization is a very powerful tool. That's A. And B, put a plan in place. So these two live together. They lock in and they live together. That's the second thing that I'm going to recommend all of you do. Now, the third thing oh my goodness. I was speaking to a business owner yesterday, and we were reading we went through a book. I always recommend my clients, I choose books that I want them to read, because I believe through the books, we can learn a lot, we can grow a lot, and it's very inexpensive to learn from a book than to learn on our own skin, right? And so we were going through a book, and he said to me, this is yesterday, he said to me, one of my biggest insights from that specific book was, I realized as a leader, I need to increase and be more disciplined. And I love that he said that, because it is so true. And by the way, it's not something you probably have not heard of, right? And one of the key things that is very clear to me, the people that are the most disciplined are the ones that win. I'll say that again. The people that are most disciplined are the people that win. Okay? And so the third thing, if I'm going to give you the third golden nugget that I believe is going to help you squeeze the most out of the next few weeks and more, visualize, create a plan to move forward, and lastly, get a coach. Get someone who will hold you accountable, who will increase your discipline, will increase your actions, and basically won't take your shit. Because at the end of the day, we all have bad habits. Some of our bad habits hold us back a little bit. Some of our bad habits are holding us back a lot. So what we all want to do is we want to kick our bad habits. How do we do that? Become more disciplined and be held accountable. Well, how are you going to be held accountable and as a result increase your discipline levels? I would recommend the easiest way to do that is to go find a coach. Go find someone that you pay. Not a friend. Not a friend. It's like, oh, I help him with that and she helps me with this. Or he helps me with that and he helps me with that. No. I wanted to hurt you. Listen carefully. I wanted to hurt you for not showing up. I wanted to hurt you for not being disciplined. I wanted to hurt you for not taking action. Because through pain, we actually GSD. We get shit done. And through pain, people reach their full potential. Not through pleasure. For me, one of the drivers that has helped me become financially free, that has helped me to become a multimillionaire, is through pain, not through pleasure. And so that's why I say it's really powerful. 3 things. Number 1, calculate where you're at. Okay, calculate where we're at. Unfortunately or fortunately, we live in a materialistic world. Yes, we also live in a spiritual world, an emotional world, a physical world. I get that. But calculating what your net worth is very powerful. Where am I at? Where am I at? What have I got? What haven't I got? $10, $100, £100, 100 euros, whatever it is. Calculate your net worth because that's going to tell you, are you in the right direction? Number 1. Number 2, visualize where you want to go in the next few weeks, few months, few years, right? And then put a plan in place. How do I close the gap from where I am to that visualization? We need a plan. And the third thing is find someone to hold you accountable. Find someone that's going to increase your discipline levels because that's going to help you close the gap. So I am going to recommend a great book. This book, again, these are books that I read. These are books that my clients reads. These are business owners, business leaders. These are entrepreneurs that come to me for coaching. They come to me to grow their mindset, grow their business, grow their money, grow themselves. And so here's a gift to all of you guys. Great book. It is called Big Potential. Big Potential. By the way, I'm sure you guys want to reach your full potential. Yes? Right? So here's the book. It's called Big Potential. Right? It's a good book. And the author is Sean Archer. Sean or Acher. Depends how you pronounce it, right? But here's the book. Highly recommend you guys get it. Listen, guys, I don't get any commissions from this. I'm just here to serve you. I want you guys to have amazing last few weeks. I want you to have an amazing, results at the end of this year. That's why I do these lives. That's why I come to you every week, give you a little bit of energy, a little bit of power, a little bit of, motivation, strategies, tips, tools, tricks, shortcuts. Because I want you guys at the end of the year to look back and say, holy shit, I implemented that idea or I got the coaching and, now my results, my life is getting better. And, when life gets better, it doesn't get better gradually. So let me explain. If you do better this year by 10% and you build on it, next year life doesn't get better by 10%. You'll find that it gets better by 25%. It's like compounding, right? And then all of a sudden you improve already on the 25% improvement, already improved on the 10%. You find now your improvement is not 35%. Now it's on top of that another 50, 70, 80%. So it's really about climbing a ladder, but the more you improve yourself, the more you focus on yourself, the more you educate yourself, the more you empower yourself, the more you are kinder to yourself and your spirit, and the more you surround yourself with other champions, the faster you get to the next level. So, on that note, I want to wish you all an amazing day, an amazing week. Yes, today's Thursday. Normally we do these lives on Wednesday. I will be in South Africa on my safari leadership from next week. So I will not be here, but I will be back in about 2 weeks. And I will be coming back with some tools, some insights from the wonderful, magical place called The Bush, to inspire you all to take your business, your money, your life, and basically take yourself, your family, and your tribe to the next level. So until our next session, Arnon is sending you lots of love. Stay strong and stay in your power. Cheers.